Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the mid-month meeting. Call this meeting to order at 5:02 p.m. and call upon Councilman Mallory to say evening prayer.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening. Thank you for the gift of being part of your creation and this beautiful day. Lord, help us tonight as we discuss the affairs of our tribe, the conditions we're under, the good things that go along with the bad. Lord, we pray this evening for the people in Israel, in the holy country, who don't seem to get along. Lord, we just ask that your hand will prevail in the outcome of that situation. Lord, so often as Native people, we lament over our hardships, poor quality water, lower living standards, and sometimes not so good medical attention. Lord, but despite all of this, there's no place we would rather live than right here in our home country. We seek your guidance this evening in all we say and do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Penny. Council, we have one addition to the agenda. I was just going to say that for November because I'm trying to get more people.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to recruit.
This is for that board of directors meeting
But I can
travel.
save that for
Okay.
next month.
All right.
We have one addition to the agenda under tribal council items for Veterans Celebration. Do we have any further additions to the agenda? Do we have
What would that come under? New business?
under tribal council items?
Okay.
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? A motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 6-0-0. Turning to the minutes, we have October 2nd, 2023 regular tribal council meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move it.
Motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 6-0-0. October 4th, 2023
Seven.
October.
No, 7.
Oh, 7. Eric, go. 7-0-0. October 4th. Oh, so the agenda is 6 and then the first minutes is 7. October 4th, 2023 swearing in ceremony meeting minutes. Do we have a motion? Motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. October 6th, 2023 Tribal Council Orientation Meeting Minutes. Do we have a motion?
Move it.
Motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 6-0-0. Number 4. Oh, 7, sorry. Number 7. 7-0-0. Number 4, October 10th, 2023 Physical Resources Report Meeting Minutes. Do you have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Eugene. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 5, October 11th, 2023 CEO Report Meeting Minutes. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Eugene. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 6, October 12th, 2023 Tribal Council Boards, Committees, and Work Group Meeting Minutes. Do we have a motion?
Move it.
Motion by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Moving on to the ratifications. Number 1, approve tribal member request. Do we have a motion? Motion by Isaac. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 2, approve Winnebago's Marketing Department March 2024 Continuity Campaign. Do we have a motion to ratify?
Who
Did
made
you-
the motion?
Eugene motioned and Rona second. Do we have a discussion? Objection? Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 3, approve Winnebago's Bingo Department $40,000 promotion. Do we have a motion to ratify?
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 4, adopt resolution 24-03, authorize tribal officials. Do we have a motion to ratify?
Motion.
Motion by Eugene. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. That's, yep, 2403. Any further discussion? Objection? Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 5, adopt resolution 24-05, National Congress of American Indians membership. Do we have a motion?
Move it.
Motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 6, adopt resolution 24-04, tribal member applicants. Do we have a motion to ratify?
Motion.
Motion by Isaac. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 7, approve Winnebago's Marketing Department April 2024 Continuity Campaign. Do we have a motion to ratify?
Motion to ratify.
Motion by Eugene. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 8, approve Winnebago's Marketing Department 70,000 Casual Pumpkin Patch promotion. Do we have a motion to ratify? Motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 9,
Who was
approve
the second?
Eugene.
Okay.
Number 9, approve Winnebago's Marketing Department 28,000 slot tournament. Do we have a motion to ratify?
Motion to ratify.
Motion by Eugene. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 10, approve Winnebago's Marketing Department February 2024 Continuity Campaign. Do we have a motion to ratify?
Motion to ratify.
Motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Number 11, approve Winnebago's Marketing Department January 2024 Continuity Campaign. Do we have a motion? Motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Both pointing at each other here. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Okay, thank you, council, for got through those. That brings us into new business, and I'd like to invite Christine Earth up to present.
Did you guys call for order? 5-2.
Hi, Christine. Welcome.
You didn't cut a gateway?
Nope.
No. Sure.
You look beautiful, Lisa.
Thank you. All right, my name's Christine Earth, and I'm here representing Ho Chunk Community Development Corporation. I am the newly hired executive director in replace of Brian Mathers. Brian left some pretty big shoes to fill, but I'm thankful for the opportunity, not only as a tribal member, but also just my willingness to step in the role, and I'm looking forward to working with the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska. And also taking on the role in my own way, you know, bringing not only my love for the Winnebago community, but my love for community organization and my love for education. And so I'm here representing, like I said, HCCDC, and I'm here with Lisa, who's on the board, the housing board, and we are here looking to receive a tribal resolution that will allow the Veterans Triplex project to move forward. As a grant writer at HCCDC in collaboration with the tribe and numerous community organizations, this resolution is needed by the Department of Housing and Urban Development as a step towards the project amendment. So the original project was, the grant was written to build 3 veterans triplexes. And so we are amending the project by 30%. If we stay within the 30%, we won't have to jeopardize losing the funding. If we were to modify it more than 30%, then we would basically need to rewrite the whole grant, and there's probably a chance we might not be able to move forward. So thankfully, with the help of Dana and the housing department, we were able to find enough funds for this amendment. And so we're looking to build 2 of the 3. So there'll be 6 units for 6 veterans when the project is complete. We received an extension, so we got the grant extended till September 30th, 2025. And I do have the documents if you want to look at it, but this is what I have here is our project narrative. I have evidence that the Ho Chunk construction team will complete the project in the timeline presented. And I have the 123 form, which shows the project timeline. And we do have our environment assessment that'll be already has been approved, since we're keeping the location in Thunder Way. That's where the environment assessment was done at. And then we have a summary of the work plan. So these are all the documents needed by HCCDC to turn into Roger Palmer at Housing Department, our Housing and Urban Development. And so this is just another piece of the puzzle. And so thank you, Tori, for allowing me to get on the agenda and working with me getting to this point.
Can we have a copy, if not of all those documents, but of the timeline of the project?
Yeah, it's in there. I have 3 copies.
Do you want me to make more copies for
I have 3, yeah, if everybody wants one.
I'm just curious. Why is HCCDC in this? Why isn't this coming from the Housing Commission? And who's the applicant?
The applicant is the housing.
Yes.
The Housing Commission?
Yes, it is. But they oversee the grants that come in. So that's why she is putting it on herself to follow through with the steps that we need to take. But this has been going on since 2005. We started out with 3, right?
Since 2018,
Oh,
pre-COVID,
18.
yeah.
Sorry. I'm old. So, anyway,
Nope.
that's why we're here. Because we need that resolution, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and the sooner the better. Because there's so many veterans out there that are homeless. And we've waited so long. And myself, I want to push. I want to push it as fast as we can. Because pretty soon it's going to be winter.
I'm in support. I'm just wondering how HCCDC is in this when there's a housing CEO or director.
I don't know the word, but they're the kind of like the oversight, the administrator of.
Yeah, we're the administrators of the grant, and so we're able to hold the funds at our office, and we do all the drawdowns and we do all the reporting once it's completed.
Yeah, and she communicates back and forth with HUD.
And,
I'm just trying to understand how that works, because the commission is its own entity, so why aren't they the ones doing all this?
So HCCDC's role, our role looks different depending on what the grant is. So our role in this grant is I'm submitting the required documents to the Office of Housing and Development in order for it to be amended, because we did have enough money to build the original 3 after COVID of the cost of supplies. And then if we went down to 1, which we had plenty enough for 1, it probably wouldn't have got approved because we were amending it more than 30%.
Okay.
So the funds are there with the help of Dana's team and the 2 ladies here. And I don't know if you want to say anything, Sarah?
Well, I just want to kind of give a history because this has come to this table. I think this is the 3rd time in the last 5 years. And I believe Isaac was represented the council on the board when I got up, when the council appointed me to the board. And this grant was awarded back in 2018. And it's been sitting there this whole time and nothing's ever happened with it. And I pushed and pushed and pushed every time. And Brian Mathers is the one that agreed to HCCDC would administer the grant. And so it got to a point where we were ready to lose the grant money because nothing was done. Okay, and myself, I look at it, the architect we hired was not 100%, and I still believe he's not 100%, and I totally recommend we don't ever use this man again. So we're still fighting battles. So what we did was the place it was supposed to be set, this veterans unit, we had this really elaborate 3-sectioned unit, and we were going to have flagpoles out in the front. It was going to be across from the bridge out on Thunder Way, in that little cul-de-sac area up there, and that's where it was supposed to be. And then it was delay after delay after delay because of soil studies and all kinds of things and the erosion and everything else. So several months ago we suggested we put it up at the cul-de-sac in the new, already has all the I can't even think, I've been at so many meetings today.
Infrastructure.
Yeah, the infrastructure's already there, so why don't we put it up in that little cul-de-sac area that's already developed? Then we don't need that much more money to put in the infrastructure. So the board decided that's what we're gonna do. We were gonna move the site. So then we had to have environmental studies done there and this and that. So put it on hold even longer. But Brian was able, before he left, to get an extension on this grant till 2025. And so, we're like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna stick build these? Are we gonna have modular homes brought in? What are we gonna do? So we finally got everything worked out that we hope is worked out. And on that too, Isaac, if you remember, there were tiny homes included. So the tiny homes, we don't even ever know what happened with those, but because of the funding, we're using the tiny home grant money to cover the expense of these veterans homes. So we'll have 6 units out there. Instead of 9, it's 6, but it's better than 3 because it got down to 3 at one point, and it was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, with this, we can start building right away after this is approved, or this resolution is done.
Yes. Question, any comments before I ask for a motion? Okay.
So, that's what I was, and thanks for bringing us forward, guys. But I was always wondering that because it was 700,000 then at the time when we started talking about those tiny homes, a little community, all that stuff, and we found out that. So with all the stuff, and I'm trying to kind of talk about the details just because of some of the membership. The location was originally across from Kelly's Pond there off to the west. That infrastructure's still in there. From what I'm hearing before, that's why that was a general thought of a location. I think it was a paving, because there's a fire hydrant over there.
Yeah.
So I think there's water over there. I don't know if there's sewer or whatever. But what I was getting at was maybe that's somewhere down the road that might be something. But if it can't support a tiny home, I don't think it can really support anything.
Sounds good.
So I'm glad that you guys brought this forward, and that sounds like that's going to be kind of a nice little view up there for the vets up on that hill where you're talking about that cul-de-sac. So I'm glad that we're this far with it. And there was another thing at the time. We went to Dynamic Homes and we took a tour of the whole facility and everything and checked it out, and it was pretty good. And we asked him, hey, how much is it? How much time do you need to shut down to do a couple complexes like the senior citizens complexes just south of the dollar store? And they said about 250,000, about 6 months, we can hammer those units back out and turnkey. So we were looking at that at one time. I remember that at the board, and so. But I'm glad that this thing's still going. I was always wondering. I thought maybe the projects, the water and sewer projects that were taking place within the Rainbow Housing, I thought that might have had to eaten this money up. But it sounds like you guys kept it alive. So, well, with that being said, if there's no other comments, I would make a motion to approve a resolution for the lease.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a motion by Isaac to adopt resolution 24-30, 8 HUD ICDBG single purpose public facility project grant. We had a motion by Isaac and a second by Eric. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0.
You don't want it?
No, we're
We want a better one.
Oh, here's a better one.
This is for the lease.
I have a quick question, being new to the table and trying to understand where everything's coming through. I'm assuming this was already talked about, but 6 units, so 6 individuals, right? It's not a multi-family, or is it a 2-bedroom, or?
It's 2 separate units.
Correct.
Yeah, with 3 in each.
3 in each.
Yes.
And they're single bedroom?
Yes.
Yeah, for veterans.
Okay.
Just for veterans.
So I guess would it make them eligible if it's veterans with a family? Like say they're taking care of their grandkids, or, I know those little situations do arise, that's why I'm asking.
No, because they're 1 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 1
Yeah, it was
bedroom
written in
units.
for
Written
one
for
bedroom,
singles.
and then another
Okay.
component of the grant is for youth to help the veterans garden. Once we get them built, and we can make the connection.
I know
But
some
that's a
baseball
piece
teams
right
that
now.
need some volunteer work.
We'll take them.
Christine, is the title correct?
What is the title?
It says HUD ICDBG single purpose public facility project grant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked it over before I sent it to Teresa.
And it's-
then
it's-
then the evidence of citizen participation
Okay.
should be in there, and yes.
Any further discussion?
Yeah. So I guess Lorelai, was you able to collect everything as far as the motion, what it would read?
Yeah, I have motion to approve resolution 24-30 HUD ICDBG single purpose public facility project grant land lease.
Could have just said resolution 2430 veteran homes housing triplex buildings. But you already wrote it out. I mean,
Maybe the title.
So any further discussion? Did we already vote?
yeah, we did word discussion.
On the grant, whatever the grant, it's titled.
Yeah,
on the
that's what
grant.
That's what I have. What's on the resolution that she submitted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe. Can you read the title again?
Motion. Oh,
The title of this?
Yeah.
So I guess there was just a question, is this the correct title
Yeah.
if?
Yeah, is that the correct?
Maybe it's the
down here
wrong
it's a
title
land
then.
lease.
It's a land lease, but it doesn't say anything about land lease.
Okay, so the original template came from Irita and Fanny. They were assisting me writing my first resolution. So maybe we should change the title.
But just add land lease up behind project grant.
Okay, that sounds good.
Call for the vote, Madam Chair.
We voted. There was just a question on the title.
Wake up, kitty.
Okay, well, thank you ladies for
thank you.
coming in
Well,
and
thank you very
presenting.
much. I mean, we need to get this going as soon as possible.
Well, thank you for your leadership. We need
All right,
the
thank you,
board to keep pushing it. So thank you so
After-
much.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, so I have single purpose public facility
Filling that position.
project
Okay,
grant
thank
veteran
you.
units
No, thank you.
land lease.
You'll be
And then
good.
one thing before you guys go, Lisa and Sarah, on the board over there, the council, and I know Coley and a couple others still sit on the board over there, but we were talking about about sitting down with possibly with the board and getting a meeting together to look at how big of a need, well, we know there's a big need, but what would it take to bring in some extra help to get some of these houses flipped over quicker?
Okay, we just talked about that at our last board meeting.
Uh-huh.
Might as well sit back down, yeah, and that's what.
Sit back down.
Well,
Well, she told me to come represent the commission, so I'm here.
yeah.
At our last meeting, it was brought up because, you know, and I said, the council has to have questions about what's taking so long. And I'm sorry, but I thought that, Coley and Louie would be reporting back to the council what's going on with the housing
And that's
commission.
why they sit on a commission,
Yeah, so, but
because it's supposed to be.
so anyway, you know, we're more than happy to come, you know, visit the council about anything you have, but like the rainbow housing, there's equipment that's on back order. That's a project supposed to be done in November, okay? And so, but we don't know if it's gonna be done because they're waiting for things to finish those units. Other words, it was supposed to be completed the end of November.
Okay,
All
so
those
we'll probably,
rainbow.
if everybody's okay with it, just my 2 cents is, we'll set up a meeting with you guys and then we'll just exchange information.
would be
Coley's got
great.
some other projects that he's been working on, and then Louie's been kind of hung up busy
Yeah.
there, so that's why, and it's not that we're not getting information from them, but it's just so everybody could hear it for themselves.
Yeah,
So-
and then another thing is that there's still 16 units that need meth cleanup,
Okay,
okay? And we talked about this today in a meeting, is that it's not in housing's budget for meth cleanup. I mean, that's not one of our budget items, and so when we have to spend $37,000 cleaning up a unit, some of that rent that's collected has to go to clean those units up, okay? And so right now, it's manpower. We don't have the staff to go in and, you know, I think there's 8 or 9 houses still boarded up on Sunrise Drive. And there's nothing we don't have the staff to get them clean.
Because nobody wants to work.
Nobody wants to work.
Just going off what Isaac said, I think that's kind of what the number we're looking for, though, is whether you ask the guys to kind of compile it, is what's the number look like, though?
Well, it depends on how bad the meth is in the houses. Because some houses, the whole house is contaminated. Some it might just be a bathroom or a bedroom, you know, so that doesn't cost as much. But the percentage is about $37,000 per house.
So it's almost 40,000 per
Yeah,
house, too.
yeah, and so, and we don't, it's not in our budget, it's not,
Understood.
nothing, HUD gives us money to do meth cleanup. So it's stuff that we have to use the rent money we collect to do those, just like maintenance and upkeep. And so, you know, it's really difficult,
So
and
could you, sorry to interrupt, but could you bring with that included in it then? Like if you know how many units have meth, could you bring that with the, you know, 37,000
Yeah,
times
yeah, we
however
could
many?
have Frank
Just bring
figure
the
it out.
number, you know, just so we can see it, right? I think that's what
we
we're
have
trying to get
that
at.
already.
Yeah.
We just want to kind of see the number and see what it actually looks like.
because you
Yeah.
said he was willing to roll his sleeves up and put a mask on himself, so.
Because
Yeah,
don't they have to be trained?
Yeah, they have to be certified and they have to wear gear and all this, know how to dispose of everything, and, you know, so, and Frank and 2 of his crew are certified, but they're too busy with the day-to-day stuff to have time to go do it. They do it when they can. So our suggestion was, and when Norma was still there, we made a motion and it passed for her to hire a crew. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't want to be racist or anything, but if we need to hire a Hispanic crew to come in and get this job done, let's do it so these houses can be available for people. Because, you know, I'm sorry, we just don't have people that want to work,
Yeah,
Too many handouts.
you know, and so it becomes difficult to get anything done.
well, we'll set up a meeting and get ahold of some times and stuff. We'll see what the rest of the council schedule looks like, and then we just gotta get back to communicating with each other and that kind of stuff, and I think we can get these turned around, because really a house could, depending on the damage of the drywall, if it leaks into the studs, and the only time it'll get clear into the studs is if you're actually trying to attempt to cook in there, because the recipe for cooking isn't very well known around here. But I'm not saying there ain't people here that know how to do that, but I'm just saying that. Luckily, we don't have that as a major issue. So,
You know, but the one really good thing was at our last meeting, the report was the positive testing that we do.
It's gone
and
down.
It's down to almost nothing now.
yeah, that's what Coley was.
But you know, it's
talking about.
because we have to stick to our guns about, you know, making people responsible for their own action.
Yeah.
You know, and that's our, you know, that property doesn't belong to them, it belongs to the Winnebago Housing Authority.
Yeah. So,
How high on the list are people that caused that $35,000 net problem? Are they up there high on the list for another home once they're done?
No,
No, they can't go back in.
they can't go back in.
No, they're out.
about what?
You know, and we're finding that they're going to tribal housing or to HCI to try to get in their
Or
housing.
either come back here.
Yeah, or come here to the table. So, yeah,
Okay.
So, yeah, it's
All right,
just,
Ms. Warren.
Unless you wanna approve off a post-it.
so,
We were
Oh, Louis?
the worst enemies.
Did you have
Go
a
ahead,
comment,
Louis.
Louis?
The housing authority took a lot of heat when we kicked people out or met. And one time, the board would come to the council meeting, bring their financial report for the month. They don't do that anymore. You can just, you can do that over again. So there's nothing to hide. But it's all solvable. Thank you.
thank you, Louis.
Thanks, Louis. Okay, well, thank you for the support to continue this project, and we need to stay informed. And I know we were kind of aggressively nudging, you know, a couple years ago, and then we backed off, and we were really upset with that architect when he came. But we're thankful that things are moving along.
yeah. Thank
We
you.
need to get rid of it.
Thank you.
So thank
Hey,
you.
you know what we were thinking about was who's the board chair over there?
I'm the vice chair.
Well, she's a
Oh.
vice, but we don't have,
We don't have a chair.
Jeannie resigned. And
Yeah.
so she took over and we were waiting to fill Jeannie's position. But then now they said that we need to rewrite the bylaws.
Yeah, the bylaws
doesn't
don't
say how
even
many-
list how many people should be on this commission board. Don't even have a number. And there's no terms either. And so the last time those bylaws had any work on them was,
1998.
yes, 1998. And so, but do you guys work on them through your lawyer? With your lawyer?
Well, the bylaws that you guys are referring to, when did the tribe take over housing? From the Winnebago Housing Authority to the Winnebago Housing Development Corporation.
I think it was 93, I think. I'm not too sure. I think there was
So
a
I
big
think the
old,
bylaws that you're referring to are the Winnebago Housing Authority bylaws. And there has to be another set of bylaws from the
There's two
Winnebago
sets.
Community Development Corporation.
because that's what Cup was working on. There's two sets there.
Yeah, there's two sets of bylaws.
Yeah.
But the Community Development Corporation, that's Christine and them, right?
No.
Well, who's
Winnebago
that?
Housing Development
What-
Corporation.
I'm not sure, but when I first got on the council, there was people from the village office and people from the housing office, and they were both like,
See, when they first built the Rainbow Housing Project, it was the Winnebago Housing Authority. And that and I know this because it's a part of the history that Monsignor Frank Halsman was one of those board members. And they got money to build housing here, the Winnebago Housing Authority. And it was under the Village of Winnebago. It wasn't the Winnebago tribe, it was the Village of Winnebago. And I know Angela Little Beaver sat on that, Dorothy Holstein. There were different ones that sat on that Winnebago Housing Authority. And it wasn't a tribal thing, it was a village. So when so then the tribe separated they said, let's take this, and they developed the Winnebago Housing Development Corporation.
And then they sold them for $1, right? Or something to do.
yeah,
There's
something
something
like that.
about $1, and
Yeah. So anyway, then the village turned all those rainbow housing units over to the Winnebago Housing Development Corporation. So now we have all those houses, but we don't know which bylaws we're supposed to follow.
and the only reason it came up during this whole event you're talking about was because it was a personnel issue,
Yes.
and then
yes.
it came to what? And I don't know
They-
that we ever
they
got that
fought
sorted
for
out.
years. and right now that's still there. That's still there with the village. There's not a cooperation with the Winnebago Housing Development Corporation.
Yeah, they don't want to.
But they don't have the units anymore. The units are down there. So
When I started,
we don't know which bylaws we follow.
Louis?
when I started up, the tribe
Okay.
did not want to get it into housing. So they wouldn't accept any HUD money. So we weren't in the ballgame. Sterling Snake was mayor. I was the chairman. We went for an organization that was led by the village because they wanted a housing, and we added members, the council, to a board that represented the tribe's interest and the village interest, and we put it under a separate entity.
So we need to have our general counsel as well
Yeah.
on that this week.
That started the problem.
But we should,
Tribe didn't
how
want
I found this,
housing,
Jeannie resigned.
created a hell of a mess. It lives to this day.
She didn't know, so I said,
Thank you.
have your bylaw.
Thanks for sharing that, Louis. I think at some point we're gonna have to pick that back up and just try to sort through it and move forward however it's gonna be, because I never quite understand the whole issue either. So that brings us to Yep, so we're on number 2. That's a resolution, agricultural lease bid, allotment 798, A. Mary Buchanan Ewing. Do we have a motion to adopt resolution 24-31?
Hold on.
A second, Madam Chair.
We have a motion by Rona and we have a second by Kenny. So we have a motion by Rona to adopt resolution 24-31, and that was second by Kenny.
Oh, the agricultural one?
Yep.
Okay.
Any discussion on the motion? Harvey, did you want to say anything on the resolution, or is it all good?
Yeah, it's all good. The appraised value was at 17,414, and the previous rent was 16,000. And then Douglas Johnson got it for 19,000. So
Great. Objection to the motion? Motion carried 7-0-0. Thank you, Harvey.
thank you.
There is no old business, and that brings us to tribal council items. And the first item on the agenda is turkey distribution. I'll turn it to Rona.
Around
Yeah.
Thanksgiving time would be pretty good time for it.
Kenny, okay, so, we haven't received all the information back yet from food distribution or, procurement on the turkey distribution. It's gonna be about, we budgeted for this event since we pay for it every year. So, just saying it. It's an annual thing, so we budget for it. 24.5, so that's for the turkeys.
What is it?
24.5. That's what we budget for it, which includes storage and everything for turkeys and all the sides with it. But we're also looking for another option if it would be easier to do a gift card. So we're gonna come back to the table. This is just an update. We're gonna come back to the table with both options. But it can't be more than a 24/5.
Okay. I want to take this opportunity to apologize to the council for I misspoke during one of our meetings last week. When we were talking about the tribal council donation line item, we did do a budget modification, and our total budget modification for the year was 191,000, but that wasn't all distributed to assistance. It paid for the turkeys, it paid for the Christmas, I think we did gift cards instead of like a ham last year, and it pays for a variety of other things, but I made it sound like it paid for, you know, all this direct assistance, and it did not. So I want to apologize to the council for that. So just to clear that up.
Comment.
Eric.
I think the gift cards would be applicable. It would be a good idea once you run out of turkeys. So we get the turkeys, hand all the turkeys out, and then whoever doesn't get a turkey, they can get a gift card. Just a thought. So I don't know what that enrollment membership is on the reservation. I think it was like 2,500 last time.
One turkey per household. On the turkeys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll bring more information back next week. I just want to let everybody know the update. You know, that's what we budgeted for, and it's usually 300 turkeys. And I was out to NAFOA at the time that these numbers were going through, and then I asked for the option of, or gift, we either give turkeys or we all give gift cards, not and or. So, you know what I mean?
I like the turkey idea.
Okay. Alrighty, so we'll bring more information back next meeting. Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the 2024 Self-Governance Conference. At the last CEO report, the CEO discussed this, and in the meantime, the CEO did make arrangements. This is going to be in April 15th to the 18th, and this would be a good 101 on self-governance, as we're going to make steps for law enforcement. So I just encourage the council to think about this in your schedule, and asking for a motion to approve travel for the tribal council.
Wow.
Yeah.
Move it.
Motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion. Objection. Well, in the discussion, if you're thinking about it, I would let Teresa know right away, because if you'd like to stay at the host hotel, those always fill up right away. So it's better to now than later. Any further discussion? Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. That brings us to the National Indian Head Start Directors Association. In the packet, there's a letter we received from the association requesting a donation for 500, 1,000, 5,000, or any amount you can. The donation will support NIHSDA's continued efforts to expand eligibility for Head Start and Early Head Start, uphold the government-to-government relationship, ensure the research-based requirements are culturally compatible, secure more funding for quality improvement of facilities, increase salaries for retention of qualified staff, allow for the development of culturally specific curriculum and assessments. So it's just a donation request. So if the council's in support of that, or no action.
I'll make a motion to donate 1,000
We have a motion.
travel council donations.
We have a motion by Lorelei to authorize $1,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Discussion.
Come from where? Did you say Lowlight?
Come out of the tribal council donations.
Okay.
For discussion, I read what their challenges that they're seeing going to be in the coming year with the Congress. I mean, in this term. And one of the things that I'm on the Head Start or the Educare board, and one of the things that really pissed me off about Head Start was we have tribal members that live in South Sioux or Sioux City or surrounding areas that work here on the res, and they wanted their kids in our Head Start so that they could learn the culture and know their people and get raised with them. And Head Start decided that if they don't live here, they can't use our Head Start. And I tried to appeal that, but we got denied.
Well, that's just crazy. How do those workers'
I
kids go there
know,
then?
I know. And so, but these guys want to take it on at that level, so that's why we want them to get funding from the tribe so they can
Isn't that more of
layer
an,
on.
isn't that more of an educare policy though? Is that what that
No,
is?
it was Head Start.
Head Start part of it?
Okay. Well,
But that's why I think that other daycare building is probably so important as well, to help serve those extra people.
I just said the early part, they can be off.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get started. You have to look on it. Let's see.
So I need a motion in a second.
Eric, second. Any further discussion? Objection? Motion carried 7-0. That brings us to our last agenda item, and that's the 2023 Winnebago Veterans Celebration. And we had Commander Rave share this budget with us. Some of the discussion was wanting to be consistent in the payouts for the principals. There was feedback that we need to be thinking of the drum in a way that's more appropriate to honor each of the singers in a respectful way. But the budget presented is a total of $8,400. Did the council want to make any modifications to this budget, or do you want to approve it as presented? We have a motion by Isaac to approve the 2023 Winnebago Veterans Celebration
Discussion.
out of the
Second.
tribal council donations. And we have a second by Eric, and discussion to Eugene.
I want to respect our commander Gordon, but I would just ask, and I may ask him myself as well, but just to, like we had spoken on, just modify that the host drum, receive more proper, I guess, diligence or due diligence for their efforts that are going to bring both of the veterans powwow. We all know that the singers would do it for free if it were like that in our world that we live in today, but I may just request him to up it to 500. That'd be the only thing I would ask of him. So, if the council's okay with that.
So he would have to come ask for more money. So right now it's getting approved as presented.
I think it would be enough to move your participants. I think there's enough funding with participants because you may not have that many dancers.
Okay.
That's the way I would try to present it to him.
Okay.
Well, so you're staying at the 8,400?
Mm-hmm. It would still stay at the 8,400, just that he gives the drum a little more something. That's all.
Okay.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
That means you can't sit at the drum.
No, I told him already. I know how it goes.
So that's coming out of where?
TC donations.
It's coming out of the portfolio.
Any further discussion? Objection to the motion? Motion carried 7-0. Thank you. That has we finished all the business on the agenda. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eugene. Discussion.
Oh, just teasing.
Objection? Motion carried 7-0. We're adjourned at 5:50 p.m.